Hello and welcome to Wimbledon Unfiltered with me, Nick Kyrgios, presented by talkSPORT and Good Trouble. Today, with me is one of my good friends, Gordon Smart. Good to see you.
Day five, Nick.
How are you?
It's brilliant. I'm loving this. Thoroughly
Me
enjoying
too.
your company. I should say, if you want to join us on YouTube, you can with Good Trouble, and you can on talkSPORT as well. Like and subscribe. Nick, we're 5 days in. You were down at the courts today. How was it down there?
It was good. An unfortunate result for Naomi, but it was fun being in the box and being in the thick of it, and she came up short, but it was good. My competitive juices were flowing, even though I wasn't competing, but it was a lot of fun.
I was going to ask you about mixed doubles actually before we go on any further, because there's been a bit of a change in the format of some of the tournaments. Do you think that's a good thing for tennis? And explain what it is as well.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's actually the week before the US Open. It's actually just a mixed doubles event, and I think it's about time tennis capitalized on it. I really hope that me and Naomi can make some noise.
So you'll go together?
Yeah, we're going to be playing together. And I've already spoken to her coach and her team, and I really want to put like a little bit of practice in, because we've done it once before and it wasn't successful. She's got a great serve, hits the ball big, and I feel like we could do some damage for sure.
It's interesting, that format, isn't it? Because like you say, if you're playing for good money, but at the same time though, do you think you can physically commit to it as much as you would, knowing that you want to compete in the singles after?
I mean, look, I'm a team player.
Right.
Following basketball and playing basketball, I'll probably try harder in the mixed doubles than I will in singles, to be honest. But I think, playing basketball and growing up in the team environment, I love, winning and losing together. And I think that it's a cool memory to have, like, if we can actually get over the line and do something special that week. I think sharing that together is pretty cool.
Here's an interesting one for you, right? If you play in the singles, the men's purse often is different from women's. But if you play mixed doubles, the money splits 50-50. What does that tell you? Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think she deserves probably more than I do, considering she's won 4 Grand Slams. But look, I don't really care about that. I just want to have a good result. I want to have some fun. I think having your favorite athletes on both sides playing together, I mean, it's money content. I think, imagine me in Osaka versus, Raducanu and Alcaraz. Like that's got, content all over it. So I'm excited.
It's gone from mixed doubles to foursome now, isn't it, Nick?
Don't
Sorry, I'll get us
trying to
in
get
trouble.
cancelled on day 5.
I'll get us in trouble. But that is interesting. You say it's not about the money for you. Genuinely, you're not motivated at all by a massive pile of cash.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, it would be nice, but at the same time, like, what I remember about, some of my greatest results, the doubles at Australian Open with Thanasi was the whole journey throughout the 2 weeks. I wasn't thinking about the money. It was more so like some of the best memories of my tennis career came from that week. I actually wasn't going out. I was getting to sleep early. I was ice bathing. So I'm willing to do that for Naomi.
What does that tell you, Nick? What does it tell you?
Well, I mean, that was the 1 week. Yeah. The 1 week where maybe I got to start doing that.
Interestingly, though, that might get more out of you in the singles then. If you feel the responsibility of being in a partnership, maybe by the time the singles come around, you're in good shape and your eyes in as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think doubles is a very underrated preparation for singles. It gets you returning well. It gets you serving load up. And it obviously sharpens you up a lot. Yeah. So I think for me and Naomi, it could be very beneficial for our singles game.
Nick, what's this I heard about you not getting in today?
Oh, I mean, this was. Look, I'm never one to say do you know who I am and stuff when I'm trying to get into events. But today, my agent was like, okay, let's try and pick up your last 8 credential just to save someone a ground pass. And I'm sitting there and she goes, do you have any photo ID? And I got a new phone because my phone was broken. I didn't have any photos. And she laughed before she asked me, so she clearly knew who I was, but she was just following protocol. And I was like, oh, do you reckon you could just let me in, just give me my credential just this one time? And she was like, no. And I was like, no, seriously, please. And she's like, no, we can't do that. Anyway, and then I got body searched at the entrance. They told me to put all my stuff down, and I got body searched. And the
Has
crowd
that ever happened before?
I mean, yes and no. There's been clips of Federer and Nadal not getting into some change rooms because they don't have their credential and stuff. Okay. But I don't know. Me getting body searched in front of the crowd was something I'd never thought would ever happen to me at Wimbledon, but it did today. I mean,
here's the thing, do you think any other Wimbledon finalist would be body searched, or do you think that's a Kyrgios treat?
It probably is a bit of a Kyrgios treatment,
really?
but I kind of like it too. If you're going to wear the black hat and be the villain, you got to deal with some of that stuff.
Did you keep it cool though?
I did, yeah.
Let me ask, at any point did you say, do you know who I am?
No, I didn't say that.
Were you tempted?
No, I said she said, is there any form of identification? I was like, did Google work? Which I guess it kind of a little a little dig, but no, it's fine.
Oh, did Google work? Did Google me, please?
No, yeah. No, I was I just needed a photo, but yeah, it was all right.
I'm more interested in the new phone.
Yeah, the new phone, I needed it. I mean,
really? So full of terrible things you had to get.
No, you're really trying to get me.
I am. Anyway, congratulations on getting yourself in there.
Thank you. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Another thing about watching Naomi,
Yep.
you know, again, when you're caught up in it, how much does that make you frustrated that you're not playing in this particular competition? Does it go through your mind like, I wish I was out there?
It does. It
Yep.
does a lot. You know, just seeing the competitive side of Naomi today, it really did make me miss being out there, and especially at an event where I loved playing my best tennis, and I really did prepare, you know, amazing for. But look, being in the box and coaching from someone that didn't have a coach most of my career, and I still don't really have a coach to this day. I mean, I do, but not, you know, it's not like a really big name or anything. But I think I could see myself coaching down the line for sure. Like today, like I feel like I was really invested.
Yeah.
Tactically, I was trying to help her as much as I could without, you know, crossing the line, I guess. But I did miss it a lot, but I could definitely feel myself coaching in the future.
Yeah, have you got quite an analytical mind when it comes to watching tennis then? Do you feel like you're thinking about strategy, thinking about tactics when you're watching it?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm a student of the game.
Yeah.
You know, I most of my career, you know, I made the Wimbledon final without having a coach really, and you know, I watch a lot of film. You know, I know pretty much everyone's strengths and weaknesses inside out. I know my own strengths and weaknesses inside out. And just sitting there, I could tell that she was trying to figure it out, and I knew what her opponent was trying to do, and it was really fun for me because I was like, I feel like I could help a lot of players, you know, on the tactical side of things. And with Naomi, I feel like she succeeds when there's like a simple plan in mind, and I just feel like today she, you know, I was trying to help her as much as I could.
You've got it. Right, well, let's turn your attention to some of those big results today. Again, Cam Norrie, I think the term is light work, 3 sets. He's done pretty well today, right?
Yeah, he started slow. He was down an early break in that first set, but I mean, you know, Cam he's a seasoned veteran now. He's solidified himself in the top 30. You know, pretty much always seeded at Grand Slams, and he's had success here. The year I made final, he lost to Djokovic in the semi-final, so he's a tough competitor, and he's the only male from Britain still in. So I think Cam could, you know, he's flying under the radar a little bit, and he's that type of personality where he's just going to put his head down, do all the right things. So he's definitely dangerous. And with the draw opening up, with all these seeds falling, who knows how far he could really go.
Here's the question. Is anybody with the name Yannick or anybody named Carlos going to win? Is it just down to those two, the way the draw's shaping up?
I mean, I wouldn't put, you know, the way Fritz has been playing, you know, you would probably say it's probably one of the hardest draws a seed's had. You know, he played Pericard first round, then into the kid from Canada, I forgot his name, Diallo, and then now Davidovich Fokina as well. Those are 3 guys that are very dangerous on grass, and Fritz has come through, and he's saying that his body's feeling better and better. I honestly wouldn't count out Fritz to be able to do some damage against those guys. Djokovic obviously looked incredible against Dan Evans as well, but look, the way Sinner and Alcaraz are playing and dialed in, it's pretty tough to go past those 2 guys.
And a word for Emma Raducanu. I mean, you know, by the time everybody can watch this on YouTube, things might have changed. But what do you reckon tonight?
It's a tough task.
Yeah.
Very like to be brutally honest. Like I've been an underdog. You know, exactly like in Emma's situation, going up against, you know, in my opinion, the best player in the world. And the nerves are going to be there for sure. And she's going to have to pretty much the stars need to align tonight. For Emma, for her to have, I think, more than a chance, she has to do everything right. But it's going to be a good one, and I can't wait to watch. I love watching. You know, for the sport, you can't get any better. It's the British #1 versus the best player in the world. So for tennis, this is what we want.
Big game, right? And listen, there's a big question about women's tennis at the moment.
Yep.
5 sets or not? What is your quick answer? Yes or no? 5 sets?
No.
No.
You know, I actually want best of 5 sets to leave men's tennis as well up until the quarterfinal. I think, you know, that would fix a lot of the scheduling issues. It'd fix these delays on court. In the earlier rounds, you'd see more upsets. You know, these bigger guys, especially in the first couple of rounds, you see like Alcaraz you know, went down an early set, and then already the alarm bells are ringing. It's like, okay, I'm on the brink already against the ropes, first round of Wimbledon, where you always kind of knew that he was going to find a way and win in a best of 5. Where I think if it's best of 3 up into the quarterfinals, you're going to see a lot more. I think just a lot more intensity. And then, you know, when you get to the quarterfinals, you can play best of 5 sets. I think that would add a lot more excitement to Grand Slams. You'd see a lot more probably new champions as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to change. But
that would have killed Andy Murray's career though, because he needed 5 sets.
It would
many times, wouldn't it?
It would have.
Yeah.
At the same time, look, you know, majority of the time these best of 5 sets are pretty much over. You know, but like over the last 10 years of Grand Slam tennis, the first couple of rounds, like the seeds don't really drop apart from this Wimbledon, so it's a bad example. But for me, I'd prefer best of 3.
The women have been really outspoken about it, and actually the quote from Jessica Pegula is brilliant, isn't it? She's against longer matches. I don't think we all need to start playing 3 out of 5. For me, it's too long. I personally lose interest watching the matches. I think they're incredible matches and incredible physically and mentally, but I don't want to watch a full 5-hour match. People can't even hold their attention long enough these days, like me reading this out, with phones. So holding attention for 5 hours, not my thing. I mean, she's pretty clear about that, isn't she?
I mean, she is. I mean, this generation, you look at the content on social media, like kids and fans of sport these days literally have an attention span of 30 seconds. So watching a 5-hour gladiator battle is probably not the way that the sport needs to go moving forward. But again, like there's some of these like look at the French Open final. Like we didn't want any of that tennis to end, but it had to. But I think playing best of 3 up into the quarterfinals solves that issue, in my opinion.
What's your attention span like?
It's actually not bad. Look, you can't make to the top of the tennis world without being incredibly patient. And look, it's one of the most tedious sports in the world. So like I've hit millions and millions of tennis balls in my life. So I'm actually a pretty patient guy. Maybe not off the court. But actually, I'm not patient at all.
How can you be patient but not fancy golf then?
No, golf. I don't know. I feel like I just break too many clubs.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a bit of that, right? Ben Shelton gets a special mention today because the outburst at the umpire was pretty spectacular. I mean, again, you've had a few yourself, but what was the score there? What's the story? What happened? Yeah,
it was ridiculous in my opinion. You know, he was serving out the match at 5-4. Both players were very adamant they wanted to continue. Yeah. And I just think that's where sometimes the umpire, in my opinion, wants to be too involved. Yeah. Like no one in that crowd came to watch the umpire affect that match the way he did.
So it's become a bit of the umpire at that point.
Yeah, it's like I just feel like you didn't need to say anything. Like just let them play. If Shelton felt like, you know, he was the one serving, if he feels like there's enough light to play, and Rinky, you know, he's a fellow Australian, he's the most low maintenance guy ever. He couldn't care less. So just a waste of time, Shelton having to get ready for a match to play for 70 seconds. It's just it's things like this where I don't like because it looks bad on our sport, and I just didn't like it at all.
That needle you a little bit when you see that.
I mean, not really. It's just stupid.
No need for it.
It's just stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like when you're in a solo sport like that and the pressure's high, do you ever feel a bit vulnerable? You know, Shelton's kind of lost it in that moment, hasn't he? But
he's actually grown on me a lot. You know, I wasn't sure if I liked him early on in his career. I mean, he's still very young, but now I really enjoy the energy he brings to the sport. And he's one of these exciting young guys. I mean, look, he's even flying a bit under the radar, to be honest. I think he could, on his day, he has the game style to trouble Sinner and Alcaraz, but I really do enjoy the energy he brings on the tour at the moment.
Yeah, I've seen you kicking around Wimbledon. I've seen people looking at you in the same way she looked at him.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
It's not true. It's not true.
It is true.
Tsitsipas, again, you've mentioned him a few times to me in the past 2 weeks when we've been together.
Yep.
And again, he's in the news. What's happened there?
Well, I mean, look, he's had a tough couple months.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't had, you know, many great results. You know, this year he's played okay, but look, obviously everything that's happening outside the tennis court as well, you know, relationship-wise. And then his coach today, I mean, absolutely battered him in the media.
Is he Vinicevic, his coach?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
he's an absolute legend.
He is a legend, and obviously, you know, a Wimbledon legend, but, you know, just absolutely thrashed his player in the media today.
Him, isn't he?
And it's just hard. Like, I feel like if you're having those conversations, it's okay to have those conversations behind closed doors, but airing out, like, especially your players' kind of mentality and the way he's feeling right now. Like, everyone has lulls in sport, and this could just be a temporary thing for Tsitsipas, but saying that out in a media where pretty much every tennis outlet's picked it up, I mean, talk about kicking someone when they're down. Yeah. Like, you've just broken up with your missus, and then now you're really struggling with your tennis, and now you're getting absolutely shredded by your coach. It's like, I can't imagine Tsitsipas is feeling too good at the moment. Probably, you know, reminiscence of the third round. Nah, sorry.
Do you like Tsitsipas?
I actually do. Like, I don't mind him. He's very different. And I think he's one of those personalities that the sport, I think, needs, because he is a lot different to the normal tennis player.
What about Goran Ivanisevic? What's your relationship? Much
well, yeah. I mean, look, we had a great relationship when he worked with Novak. Yeah. I feel like, you know, we have similar kind of game styles. I mean, I always thought he was an amazing player, but I didn't rate the fact that, you know, your player trusts. There's got to be a trust between your player and your coach. You've got to have your player's best interest, and that's as a human first. And I can't imagine this would be helping Tsitsipas feel good about himself.
Or devil's advocate, is that the kind of thing perhaps that will get a reaction from
I don't think Tsitsipas's personality would react well to that. I mean, I don't think he's someone that will respond in a positive way from that. But I might be wrong. Hopefully it does. I mean, nothing would make me happier than see Tsitsipas get back to some form, because he's a good player to watch. I genuinely like watching him play. But it's brutal.
It's worth actually repeating what Ivanisevic said. He said if he resolves certain off-court issues, he'll have a chance to return to where he belongs, because he's too good to be outside the top 10. He says he wants to get to the top level, but he's not doing anything. It's always, I want, but I don't see any progress. I was shocked. I've never seen a more unprepared player in my life. With this knee, pointing at his own knee, I'm 3 times fitter than him. It's really bad. That is brutal.
Yeah, it is brutal. And that's fine. Like, I've had some brutal conversations too with, in certain times of my career, but you don't do it in the media like that. You do it behind closed doors over a team dinner, or do it, get over a coffee or something. But I mean, I don't rate that, to be honest.
Are you a carrot or a stick man? Do you like to get a bit of do you respond to a bit of a hiding now and again, or do you prefer a little bit of a rub on the back and a pat on the back?
I mean, I think I respond well to both. I mean, most of the time I do understand if I'm acting like a brat, or I'm not doing the right thing. I tend to know that I'm doing the wrong thing and I'm doing it for a rise, or I'm just doing it because I'm just a piece of shit. But like, no, but sometimes, like as a tennis player as well, with a sport that's so brutal and you're pretty much alone all the time. Like now he's going to be alone playing these other tournaments. You want to feel good. He's one of the best athletes in the world. He's the best Greek athlete that tennis has ever seen. He's a Grand Slam finalist. He's been one set away from winning Grand Slams. Like, this is a guy that's been probably one of the best players in the last decade. And he does deserve to be made to feel good, but like, is that the way to do it? I'm not too sure.
I'm interested again. I know a lot of the talkSPORT viewers are really interested in Ange Postecoglou at the moment. He's been across the news so much on talkSPORT, but his coaching style again, when he was in Scotland, was really well respected for the way he won the players over. I think the players looked dejected when he left Spurs, and I'm interested in that difference in style of coaching from soccer, as you would call it, football, to tennis. I mean, are there any similarities in the way a coach can get a response from you as a player in tennis as they could in football? Yeah,
well, I feel like my style of tennis is similar to the way that Ange coached. It's focus on what you're able to do and what you're able to control and play aggressively. Like for me, my motto was live and die by the sword. Some days you're going to go out there swinging and beat the greatest of all time, and sometimes it's just not going to work. But my best tennis comes from backing myself and playing all out attack. And playing with instinct. And you look at the Spurs, like, we've rarely won anything, and you have a pretty average season, but then you go out and win a cup. It's it's gonna sometimes gonna be good, sometimes gonna be bad. But obviously they parted ways, which sucks, because I mean, as an Australian and as a Greek as well, it's always good to see us making noise out on the global stage. But that's what I'm saying. Like Tsitsipas as well, like he's had some amazing results, and if his career stopped today, it's still probably one of the greatest. Like, I think he was nearly top 10 of all time in all-time prize money earnings. Wow. So that's that puts on the scale of how good his career has actually been consistently over 10 to 15 years. So I think those comments were a bit tough, but I mean, I hope Ange, obviously wish him all the best, and I'm sure he'll be fine in that future career. So
where are you on the scale of all-time earners?
Oh, I don't know. Honestly, not that high, because I've been injured most of my career. But I mean, my head-to-head against Tsitsipas is 4-1, so if I was able to stay healthy, maybe it would have been a bit higher.
Good result.
Yeah, not too bad.
Good stats. Just a quick mention for Djokovic. He's got a big game, fellow countryman tomorrow, isn't he? Again, what do you expect tomorrow? Is he looking like he's on a march? Yeah,
I mean, look, he looked a lot better in his second round than he did in his third round. In his first round. I think Djokovic, as long as he's in the right mindset, he could probably knock on the door to beat the young guys. But again, he's just a coin flip right now. I mean, at 30, I don't even know how old he's, 37. Yeah. It takes one bad movement or something like that to up, stir his body. But hopefully he hangs around, because he's good for the tournament, good for the sport.
Good man. Right, hero and villain of the day then, Nick. Who are you thinking today?
I think the villain will be Sabalenka in a good way. I think she's going to quieten down the crowd. I think she can really embrace that villain role today. I think she can kind of be Kyrgios-esque, and if she gets the job done and puts the crowd to bed, I think she could be the villain. And hero again is Cam Norrie. Being the only Brit left on the male side, getting the job done. Recovery. And getting on to the next one. So he's the unsung hero.
What about the person who didn't let you into Wimbledon today as the villain of the day?
I mean, but I just don't understand. She was laughing as she asked for my photo, so she clearly knew what was going on. Yeah. And I guess
She's
I'm
my
a villain
hero.
again.
My hero of the day. Give us something to talk about. Right, Nick, quick fire questions from the audience, and please do get in touch with yours. Just put a little comment underneath this video on YouTube. Right, from Damien, there's been lots of talk about the prize money this year. Did Nick know what he might have spent his prize money on had he won Wimbledon when he reached the final?
Honestly, all I really spent my money on is nights out, to be honest.
Really?
I'm a very like low maintenance, like with clothing type of guy. Like I just wear hoodies, Jordan 1s, like pretty much I don't spend money on clothes. I literally just spend it on alcohol and fun nights with my mates. That's it. So I would have just literally just done that.
Yeah. He says, what did his runner-up share go on? Anything, any particular single item? A watch? Do you not buy a watch or something like that, or a memento of the occasion?
Well, I mean, every cool thing like watch-wise that I've ever got kind of came from meeting these amazing people, and that's a cool thing about being in the same agency as people like Arina Sabalenka and Naomi Osaka. You get to meet some pretty cool people, and I just kind of show up to all their events and support them, but really I'm just trying to sneak in there. No, I'm joking, but I've bought a couple watches.
Excellent stuff. People keep asking about basketball as well, because it's a big thing for you, but we talked a little bit earlier about mixed doubles, but if you could play basketball with 4 others, who would you choose in your team?
I would probably say Dennis Rodman. LeBron James and Michael Jordan. I mean, those 3 would be pretty crazy, but yeah, Dennis Rodman's nuts.
So you got Rodman, LeBron James,
LeBron James.
Jordan.
But I've been compared to Dennis Rodman in my tennis career, but I don't think I'm that crazy.
What's your hair like at the moment? We've not seen it for a while.
Yeah, but I need a clean shave because now it's like shadow there, looks patchy. I don't want to.
Right, we'll do that next week, shall we? We'll do that next week. Keep those questions coming, put them on the YouTube page, and we'll put them to Nick next week. One more, actually. Let's do Lucy's. Do you have any superstitions before you go on court?
I used to have to listen to music and really just get in my zone, but not anymore. I like to spend time with my team going out there, but most players are pretty miserable, the day before or the morning of their matches. They just want to try and get in that zone and have their own time, but I don't think I was made for tennis. So yeah, usually I just like keep my team around and then really just enjoy it.
Good man. Listening to music, will you be listening to Oasis this weekend? Because talkSPORT listeners love a bit of Oasis on there. Are you excited about them coming back? First time in 16 years tonight?
Well, look, it's not really my style of music. I mean, do I know some of their songs? Yeah, but like you said that you were a true fan, and then you're going to to France. And then laying on the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you? I mean, you've changed.
I have changed. It's a terrible. I should be at Cardiff seeing them. But you'd be good. I think you'd be good on a night.
No, don't deflect it. As a real fan, you should be there.
Do you know what? I'm gutted. I'm not going tonight because it's going to be epic, and all the talkSPORT listeners will be talking about it. And there's a lot of chat about the set list tonight. You'll know all the songs on it. And actually, you know what? He just messaged because I asked him if the set list that's floating about the internet's real, and he said that is not the one. Right songs in the wrong order from Noel Gallagher, but he did say, I'm glad it's here. The moment of truth is upon us. The set list is monumental. The band are on fire. The fans are mental. The rest of it is now in the lap of the gods.
Oh, it sounds like a godly night.
I'm going to France.
Yeah. It sounds tough.
What are you doing this weekend?
Me? I'm going to actually focus on my training. We've got a couple of days off, so it gives me time to just get my body right, and my physio flew in this morning, so I'm just going to try and zone in and be good this weekend. See, look at me maturing.
That's amazing.
30.
Mate, this is the stage you have reached. By the way, I've got a sore calf. Will your physio have a look at
it?
Yeah.
100%. Amazing. Yeah, before you have to lay it in the beach in south of France. It's really tough, mate.
450 quid an hour or something, won't it be? Nick, what a week, 5 days in.
It's fun.
We've reached the halfway stage. Just before we let you go, at this point of the tournament, who do you think has been the standout player in men and women's tennis?
I mean, it's hard to go past how locked in Sinner's been. Yep. Usually these top guys have a slip up early or lose a set, but Sinner just looks incredible. He's not one set's gone, past 7-5 or 6-4. So he looks really locked in, which is concerning to the rest of the field. It's hard to go past the final of Alcaraz and Sinner. On the women's side, I think Sabalenka being the only, all those other top 5 seeds are out. It's just Sabalenka. So I think she understands that if she stays dialed in and deals with Emma tonight, the chances of her going all the way are right there. So, Sabalenka and Sinner probably have been my 2 I've been most impressed with.
Brilliant stuff. Right, rest up this weekend. Look after yourself.
And we got some cool guests next week, by the way.
Unbelievable guests. Good shout, actually. Remember, send your questions in for Nick. Stick them in the comments below this video. This is Wimbledon Unfiltered, brought to you by Good Trouble and talkSPORT. We'll be back next week. Come and see us then.